Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are talking about 6 ways to elevate your florals. So these are just 6 little things that you can change that will take your florals to a different level. So let's just jump right in. Now I'm going to paint a delphinium today while we talk about these 6 tips. And a delphinium comes in about 300 different varieties. So I'm just going to paint kind of a generic form of a delphinium, which is just basically a stem with a lot of blooms on it. So the first tip, number 1, use variations of the same color. So for these buds, I'm not just using green, I'm actually using 3 different greens. Now using a darker green, kind of a medium green, and a lighter green can really help add some shadowing without you even really thinking about shadowing. And it also adds some interest. So if you notice, one of them is fairly dark green, and then there's others that are lighter green, and that's just more pleasing to our eye. And it's more like real nature. Then I'm doing the same thing with the blooms. I'm actually using 2 colors, but then I mix those together to make a 3rd color. So I'm using Winsor blue-green plus violet. And this is really a neat trick because some petals will be more blue, some petals will be more violet, then the colors are mixing together to make another color, and I'm not even mixing the 2 completely. So sometimes there's a little bit of blue and a little bit of violet on my brush, and it comes across the paper that way as well, so they blend really well together. And then I can always do a little darker pigment in certain places, and that changes the look as well and makes it have a little shadowing effect. So it's much more interesting than just using one flat color. Okay, number 2, make your petals less than perfect. It's always more interesting if you don't paint, let's say, a teardrop petal and then have, teardrop petals in every spot, because we're looking at the petals from different directions and the wind's blowing, they're moving, maybe a petal's broken. So if you just don't try to make them perfect, just scribble them out, or develop your own way of doing a petal and varying it a little bit. It will be more interesting. Number 3, change the direction of each bloom and leaf, because we're not looking at every flower straight on. We're looking at some of them from the side. Some of them may be hanging, kind of upside down. So if you add that movement in, it makes your whole composition more interesting and more elevated. Now, I'm not saying that a flat look is not a good thing. It absolutely is. I've designed lots of fabrics. I've seen plenty of fabrics and other designs where it's a very flat, one-dimensional image, and that's fine. That's just great. But that is a style choice. So the tips that I'm giving you today are a style choice. This is just a way of introducing more movement and realism into your painting. Okay, number 4, use broken lines. So instead of just painting one long stroke for my stem, I am using several short, long, short lines. And this again adds movement and interest. Number 5, layer. Layering is a real easy way of adding dimension to your paintings. So I've added Well, first I painted a few petals of a flower, and now that they're dry, I'm coming back and putting another layer with more petals on top. And I'm using a little bit darker pigment. You can also layer your leaves. I could have added a lot more leaves had I wanted to around the bottom and crossed them over each other, and that would have added lots of dimension and bulk. But I decided I didn't want a lot of leaves at the bottom here, just for the weight. I felt like it would make the bottom too heavy, but I easily could have done that. Number 6, use a variety of elements. Now we not only have a stem, we also have leaves, we have blooms, we have buds, and some little wispy things in here that are like little pieces of leaves. Now I also could have added some other things, but for this particular painting I decided that I just wanted just this. But oftentimes I will add other flowers in the background. Maybe I could have added easily something yellow in the background, or even pink or something. But for this composition I decided I wanted a limited color palette. So I did not add a lot of extra florals to it. Well, those are the 6 tips that I have found can take your painting to that next level. I hope you give them a try, and I hope they help you. Please give me a thumbs up and let me know if you enjoyed this one. And please subscribe for more watercolor videos coming up soon. Thanks!